All right, let's get to the first of two conversations. We're going to first talk to Stephen, Kenneth, Destiny, Bonnell the second. We are going to try to clear the air. Okay, guys, let's see if we can do that. I'm going to try calling him right now and see what we've got going on. Guys, I think this is working. Stephen?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. David Pakman. How you doing?
Let me introduce to my audience, if you're not familiar with him, we're going to be speaking with the most prominent Cuban-American Twitch streamer of our time, Stephen, Kenneth, Destiny, Bonnell II. Welcome back, Stephen.
Thanks for having me back on. What's up? Oh, I think your Discord might be using the incorrect microphone. Or it sounds like a webcam microphone.
Yeah, I think that is where you mean what you're hearing me through?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can change. I'm going to try changing something. Stand by.
Yeah, if you click user settings and go to...
oh, no, I know. It sometimes just comes through muffled. Is that better?
Oh, yeah, no, you're good to go.
Okay, good. And my audience can still hear me? Everybody can hear me still? Oh, no, my audience can no longer hear me. Oh, my audience can hear me. Okay, and you can still hear me, right, Stephen?
Yep, loud and clear, David.
Beautiful. Well, listen, I think that there's a lot of clearing the air here that needs to be done.
Okay.
Now, I do want to say, first and foremost, that since our last conversation, I have received dozens and dozens of emails, tweets, links to various Reddit threads, and I am not going to be sort of like addressing anything in particular in the sense that every sentiment was expressed, ranging from never waste your time with Destiny again, and Destiny should never waste his time with you again. Like the full gamut was the reaction of stuff from people.
The whole spectrum. Jeez.
Exactly.
All right.
So, I mean, I think tempers have sort of cooled off a little bit since the other day. Is that fair to say?
Well, I don't think I had a big temper at all, but sure. Yeah, what about it?
Well, let's not even get into that. And so let's not get into an argument as to whether tempers flared. Let's skip that argument altogether.
Oh, you don't want to get into a meta argument about the argument?
No, okay, let's see if we can avoid a 3 layers removed argument at this point in time.
Gotcha.
I think that a lot of things were said.
Okay.
And I was not expecting that it would become a sort of point counterpoint thing. I don't know if you were expecting it.
I don't, I go into every conversation with no expectations. And then every conversation is just an absolute joy because I never know what to expect.
Oh, okay. All right. So like, I mean, in all seriousness, you felt good about the conversation?
Well, no, I thought it was a horrible conversation.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
All right. Okay, good. So it sounds like we're both on the same page about that.
That's good.
Now,
I mean, I would expect it for us to both feel that way. Yeah.
It would be easy, I think, to just explain away that the conversation was a disaster by each of us saying it was a disaster merely because the other person said X, Y, Z, which I don't agree with, which I feel like would get us into the exact same circle.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe like I'm sort of happy to say, man, what am I even happy to say? I don't know that I'm happy to say anything. I'm trying to figure.
Wow. Not a single thing to be grateful for on the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Not one thing to be happy about.
I think that, I guess, okay, let me do one thing where I can, let me at least clarify one thing. One thing that people did write to me, which I ended up feeling bad about because of how it was perceived, was when I asked if you were mildly autistic at the end of the conversation, there were 2 reactions that made me feel really bad. One was that people said, I was using that as an insult, but I would never, I mean, it's like saying I'm insulting people for being diabetic. I'm not going to, there's no laughing at medical conditions for me. It was not meant as an insult. It was not meant like anything like that. So if it came off that way, I want to apologize.
Sure. First of all, I don't do apologies. I don't care. Okay. But diabetic isn't the same thing, right?
It's stigmatized. That's the whole point. I mean, that's right. It's seen totally differently. But for me, it's like I wouldn't laugh at any medical condition.
Sure, but I think the issue with bringing up the autistic thing is it appears that you're trying to undermine everything that was previously said by pointing to some. So it would be the equivalent of me asking at the end, like, David, do you have a learning disability? Like, it would be like that type of thing. And then my goal is to impeach your character based upon the answers you give to that line of questioning,
Fair,
right?
fair. And so, to the extent that that's how it came off, that was not my intention, and it may have been an inappropriately timed question. I will stipulate to that, but it was not a joke of any kind. And for me, autism is not funny.
Okay, gotcha.
Is that fair?
Right. Yeah, if you feel that way, yeah, I can. I'm not here to tell you how you can feel about things. So sure.
Okay. All right. Good.
Okay.
What else? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. In terms of other stuff, I guess I was, in one sense, I was a little bit surprised, and I don't know if it was surprised from the standpoint of positive or the standpoint of negative, that in the aftermath, people were linking me to quite literally multi-page, almost line-by-line analyses of the conversation we had, which I don't know if it's like, wow, people care enough about what was said that they took that much time to do it, or maybe some people are a little too wrapped up in our conversation, which at the end of the day is, I don't know. I don't know how meaningful our conversation should be to just the people at large,
Well, I mean, I would hope that my conversations with people are pretty meaningful, because that's the whole reason I do what I do, is so that my words have meaning to the people that are listening, right? I think it's pretty fair to expect that people are going to try to find meaning in the conversations we have with others, no? As
Okay,
public
fair.
figures, right?
Yeah, that seems fair. That seems fair. So you were not surprised at the amount of like analysis that was done?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, fair. All right. And I mean, listen, at the end of the day, now with the hindsight of the verdict was basically as expected. I mean, I thought that it was conceivable that there would be some guilties on the minor charges, but two of the minor charges didn't even make it to the jury. So I think you and I both agree that there was nothing surprising about the verdict. Is that fair?
Yeah, but I mean, the verdict was never really that's the boring part, right?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I think that if the verdict is different, it would be, number one, surprising. I don't know that Rittenhouse gets the hero welcome from Trump and Tucker and everybody if the verdict is different. I mean, I do think the verdict is meaningful.
I feel like the verdict is meaningless because I think it's more interesting. The interesting conversation was how the verdict was arrived at. It's kind of like saying, to use a charge example, black people tend to commit more crime in the United States than white people. Like, that fact isn't interesting. The interesting discussion is, well, why is that the case, right? Some people on the very far right will say culture, or very far right will say genetics. People on the left will say socioeconomic factors, environmental conditions. So like that argument is the more interesting part, not necessarily that factoid. So when we talk about like the verdict of the case, in my opinion, at least, whether or not he's innocent or guilty isn't the interesting part. The conversations are more like, if he was black, would he have made it to trial? Would the cops have killed him? Was the judge being fair? Like, was the prosecution being earnest? Could another person afford that defense? Like, I think these are the more interesting questions, rather than just saying like, oh, well, here's the verdict, I think, in my opinion.
Do you feel like you got interesting answers to the more interesting questions?
Well, that's where all of my discussion has been to. Yeah, I've always told people that you should never be too invested in the verdict of a jury case. I mean, we can hope for things, but I mean, jury cases can go anyway, right? Either direction, we have no idea.
Fair. All right. So in terms of your coverage arc, are you moving on from that case, or are you going to continue doing content related to it?
I hope to move on. It already like has dominated so much of like the past like 2 weeks, I think, of what I've done, because everybody's been talking about it. But I mean, I'm on to the next thing, right?
What's your reaction to the hero's welcome by Trump and stuff like that?
I mean, it's pretty cringe, but it's to be expected.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when people on the left like are pushing so hard in the other direction. I mean, it's more or less what I would expect. If one group of people is going to shit on somebody, then they're probably going to be welcomed by the other group of people. The kid is,
that's
like,
interesting.
18
So
years
you
old.
believe he's been lionized by the right because he's been attacked by the left?
I think that plays into it. Now, it probably would have happened to some extent anyway. But I mean, if enough people are going to make somebody out to be a villain, you can find a group of people that'll make that same person out to be a hero.
I gotcha.
I think that both ends definitely play into that.
What was your thought on the Arbery verdict?
I didn't follow that trial, so I'm really hesitant to say anything on it. But I don't think anything was ever presented that would have made me think that should have gone any way differently. I don't believe that any of those three guys witnessed directly that person committing a crime. So I don't know if they had the right to chase him down and confront him to do their citizen's arrest or whatever. I don't think that three grown men, it didn't seem like he had a weapon or anything at the time, right? So there was no reason their life was in danger. So I don't know why like a gun would have been brought out. I, everything for how those verdicts played out seemed to me like they probably should have been that way. But I say that cautiously because I didn't follow that trial or look at all the evidence for that. But these are just like the things that I've read, the snippets and everything I've read.
Why that one of the first things you said is interesting. Why were you so much more interested in the Rittenhouse trial rather than this one?
Because I thought that this trial was like pretty. It felt to me, and again, I'm very cautiously saying this because I didn't watch the trial, but it felt to me like this one was pretty obvious the whole time. You had like there were three dudes in a truck. They saw a black guy jogging. They thought he was a fucking criminal, and then they chased him down, and they essentially ended up executing him in the street with a shotgun. That seems insane to me. It seems really bad. I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody was defending the three white guys. I don't think any. Maybe there were a few crazies on the internet, but for the most part, it seemed like that they were like universally panned as like the bad guys.
Oh, that's interesting. In other words, you thought that the verdict was so much more obvious in this one that it was less interesting to you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the only thing I saw was like Tim Pool quibbling over like what a citizen's arrest was, but otherwise, it seemed like nobody was gonna go out to defend those guys.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Tim Pool, did you see this recent video where he was with Alex Jones in studio?
Probably not. I saw one where it was like Tim Pool, Alex Jones, and a bunch of people, Joe Rogan and stuff in some
in a trailer. Yeah, no, not that one.
yeah.
I mean the one where he was like in Alex Jones' studio. He somehow manages to crowbar into the first 2 minutes 3 times that he has a girlfriend, which is so funny because I don't know if you saw that video like a year ago that had a very incel feel where he was saying like, I'm single, and it's like clearly it's not me, so it's clearly everybody else.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought you were going to refer to there was some video where I think he talks about how he can go on Tinder for like 2 minutes and like pick up any girl he wants and blah, blah. And I was like, okay.
Oh, no, I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one. Yeah, no, it's worth seeing. It's very interesting. He seems almost like smitten with Alex Jones. It's very interesting.
Okay.
The other funny thing is Alex Jones seems to continue referring to him as a leftist, even on the thing. Like, here's a leftist I'm willing to have on.
Wait, who? Oh, he refers to Tim Pool as a leftist?
Yeah, although then he hedges by going, you're not even necessarily on the left. You're just sort of like a normal pro-freedom American or something like it's like very, very weird. The whole thing is weird. And I also don't know if you've noticed, but like when Alex Jones has a guest on and you see Alex Jones in the reaction shot, he seems very bored with what his guests are saying. Like he doesn't really seem to even pay attention.
Yeah. I mean, that he's a character. I feel like there's this whole group of people that it became like a trend to not call yourself a conservative, even though you were a conservative in everything but name only. Like I don't know if I would say Dave Rubin started that, but
he kept the I'm like, the last real liberal thing for a while.
Yeah, or why I left the left, but I'm not really a conservative, but you are in every single way. I don't know why people.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Well, listen, I don't want to make this an if-pology day, but to the extent that I did anything wrong, notice I'm not saying to the extent that I offended anyone. To the extent that I did anything wrong, I do apologize to you and your audience for the other day.
Yeah, listen, we don't care about apologies here, David. All we care about is the love we have for each other, and nothing is going to overcome that, okay? My fellow Gusano in arms, all right?
Oh, God. Okay. Now, let me check in with you. Here's also one thing I wanted to mention. You know, I used to be banned on Twitch. I'm not anymore, so we're all in the clear. But right now, we're observing your stream with, I'm logged out. And there's a really interesting thing I'm looking at in the bottom left, which says, Destiny viewers also watch John Zherka, David Pakman, and something called Chud Logic. What are John Zherka and Chud Logic?
John is I can't really put in, that's kind of like asking me like, what does acid feel like? I can't really put into words that stream. You just have to experience that for yourself. And then Chud Logic is a British, I think he does like kind of like political commentary stuff.
And are they on the left or the right?
John Zherka defies political spectrum analysis, and Chud Logic is probably like left, I'd say.
Huh. And then the other two that it says are like your viewers also watch, in addition to my show, is Aiko Rules and Xander Hall. Do those ring a bell?
Aiko Rules, I don't want to say anything mean about her because she's usually nice to people, but she seems a little bit insane left person. Xander Hall is, I don't know. he's a political person. He seems okay-ish.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm glad to be able to clear the air with you, and I'll PayPal you the money I agreed on a little bit later.
Okay.
And is it looking like you're going to be in LA in the second half of December, or what's it looking like?
Well, my lease is officially up on the 20th, so it'll depend on when you're here, but I don't even know if I'll be here. We'll see.
Oh my God. I get in, I think, on the 19th.
Oh, wow. I'm almost for sure not going to be here then.
And you're going to be in, oh, no, I get in the 17th.
Okay. Just highly unlikely then.
And when you think you'll be, are you saying where you will be, or?
I feel like I'll be gone in the first week of December, but we'll see,
And you're heading down south?
Am I? Is Miami? Oh yeah, of course, yes. I guess, yeah, Miami, I guess.
Okay.
It feels weird to say I live in LA and I'm going down south, but I guess, sure.
And are you saying whether you're doing like Miami proper or Miami Beach?
I was gonna do Miami Beach. There's not a lot of units available to get anywhere, and stuff is really
Sorry, did you
expensive.
say there aren't units available?
Units available.
Like an apartment unit. Oh my God!
Yeah,
I was like, what did you do? What exactly are you doing down there? Yeah,
no, there's an abundance of Unix. Like that wouldn't even make sense. Of course,
that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, but it's I think it's Miami proper, but I don't know. Yeah, but yeah.
And is Melina coming with us, or?
I would hope so, unless she hasn't told me something. But she's kind of tied to me now because she's on a K1. So if she leaves me, she's kicked out of the country forever. So she's my slave.
Wait, you guys are married?
Well, yeah, that's what the whole process has been moving towards. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So you're legally married at this time.
Well, not legally married. She's here right now in a K1, and we have like 60 days to fill out the paperwork to get married. Otherwise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What would be really great if you know how sometimes you have to go to these meetings where they like want to make sure you're really a couple and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of this, like immigration officials.
Yeah, we've already done this.
Oh, yeah. It would be great if there's another meeting. If you bring a screenshot of when you guys were in Copenhagen streaming and there's like a table of people behind you and they're furiously staring at you, it would be great if you presented that as the evidence that you're really together to immigration officials. I would love that.
Wait, I totally don't understand.
Do you remember when you were in Copenhagen?
Oh God, never mind. No. I understand now. Holy yikes. That was the most cringe moment I've ever streamed in my entire life. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's a historic moment in streaming. That's a historic moment for me. That's when I committed to Twitch. After that, I was like, I need to be on this platform.
Jesus. Yeah. That apparently the interview is really easy, or Melina said it was. Like they didn't like every time I read on the internet, they're like, oh, they might ask you crazy things like, like what is the favorite flavor of coffee creamer that this purple, but apparently they asked like 3 or 4 questions like, oh, do you guys love each other? Are you chill? Like, oh cool. And then it was like whatever. So
did you have to bring documents that you guys are like together for real?
Yeah, but I don't even know how much they mattered. But we had like, it was like a 50-page fucking thing of like our screenshots of our Instagram history, like photos where we've traveled and airplane. It's a whole bunch of shit. Do you have like a foreign wife or?
Do I? No. I'm foreign. Okay. I'm the foreign one.
Did you have to do this process?
No. I just signed up for a passport when I was 17 and that I got citizenship that way because my parents were already citizens at the time.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole different process. All right. Well, Steven, listen, I'll check in with you.
I'll ask one more question. I'm curious because I just got home literally 4 hours ago and I'm streaming now. Is this new variant? The new variant. Is it anything to be concerned about?
You mean Omicron?
Oh, is it Omicron? I thought they were going with new.
I guess they're going with Omicron.
Okay, man, that's just a really scary name.
I know. The name doesn't bode well. Here's my take on it from looking at what everybody's all various experts have been saying. It's called a variant of concern because we should be concerned, but it's not a variant of panic. We won't know for 2 weeks if it actually evades vaccines. And at this time, there's no evidence it's more deadly. It's like, you just got to wait,
Okay, sure. I don't know if I read this or if I'm making this in my head, but I thought I saw a headline that said that the United States is looking to ban all travel from African countries soon, in a week.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, I'll look for that.
Maybe later. South Africa, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it was just South Africa. You're right. The United States will restrict from non-U.S. citizens from South Africa and 7 other countries starting Monday. So maybe some other African countries. But.
That's probably it. That sounds right. Yeah. I mean, listen, we just got to see what's going on. Did you get a 3rd dose?
I'm scheduled to, I think, in 2 days.
Oh, okay. And do you know what you're getting?
I signed up for the Moderna one because I think it's more.
Yeah. It's sort of like a. You know, like the prisoner's dilemma in game theory, where it's like, no matter what you think the other person's going to do, here's what you should do. With the vaccines, it's like, no matter what your first vaccine was, you should get the Moderna booster. That's like, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say that I think the Moderna and the Pfizer shots are the same. It's just that the Moderna one was like 3 times the dose. So I think that's why the data has panned out better for it.
Yeah,
so
I don't know, but I know
booster,
it's more. I don't know about 3 times, but yeah.
I think it's 3 times because the Moderna booster is half the dose of the original shot, but I think it's still more than the Pfizer one.
Right.
But yeah, okay. Well,
all right, very good. Well, listen, good to check in. I'll be in touch, and with peace and love to the DGG community, and please stop posting about me in Destiny's subreddit, okay?
Okay, I love you, buddy.
All right, talk to you soon. Thanks. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. There is Stephen, Kenneth, Destiny, Bonnell II. Great to check in with him and to clear the air.